Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Tuesday. It's February the 4th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And I wanted to start out by backing way out just so you can kind of see the bigger picture. I originally saw this channel working up the break, the new high, and then we went into this. Sometimes a correction doesn't mean a reversal. In this case, it looked like we just kind of went into a trading range that continued on and made another uh, move higher. And if you measure this range here, that's what I saw as the range, and you just kind of get a measured move up, and you can see that, and then we kind of sold off. But I also tend to see a bigger channel here, and you notice we're turning back up here. This is not really proven, but there's several touches off the top, so I feel real confident in that. If you drag it down to here, of course, it fits down here on those first two swings. And even though we've broken that here, we're still tending to try to reverse out of here. Now, I see a little bit of a channel working down, so we may not be down. We may go on through here, so we may be done to the upside. But I wanted to show you all this stuff and just what I was seeing. But I originally saw this smaller channel working up right here, the break, the new high. And so then I was kind of looking for a correction that just seemed to be a trading range. And then, of course, we had this little trend channel that continued to work higher here, and we're finally selling off here. So um, it'll be interesting to see if this bigger channel that I'm seeing here holds. We're trying to correct back inside of that channel now, so we'll see what happens. But I wanted to back out and show you that. And sometimes you just have to go, if it's not real clear, you just have to go with a bigger or with a smaller picture. But if you found this upper channel, which I really originally got off those first couple of swings, and it may be just a little higher there, but right in there it kind of fits well across those tops, and we turn down there, and we also turn down here. And we turn down here again, and then when you drag it down, it fits down here. We got multiple turns off the lower side, and there does seem to be your nice, well-fitting median line. So you can't ignore that. And that would have been a good reason when we bounced here again to really kind of keep you in this trade here. But even if you didn't find that, you should have found this trend line of this smaller channel, because that's very obvious working up through there. And there were some opportunities to get long off of that channel. So um, that's what I saw. Let's go back and talk about the trades. I saw one early morning trade. It was a great trade, though. It's a nice second entry. We're working higher. We did have an overshoot here, so you would expect you might get an overshoot down here, but we tried to go lower twice. It turns up. It's a second entry long on a bigger picture here. There's actually a little break there, but that's just kind of congestion. So it's first entry, pullback, second entry. Just go long right there. You should be shooting for a new high, even though this is good enough to be a break of that channel. And there's probably even a median line in here too. You can kind of see that working up through there. But we're looking for a new high. And this one trade here was a great trade. And then you're kind of waiting. I really don't see a reason to go short here, although you could have. But when we made this second entry long and it failed and turned down, then just go short down here. And you can see that was a nice move down off of that trap. And then we kind of bounced. I like this one because now there's a failed second entry short. Notice the new low, new low, you pull back first entry, you pull back, then you get a second entry short right off the EMA, and it fails and turns up almost instantly. And then, boy, look at that thing go. And you just stay with that one and ride it all the way to the top, because some people might have been seeing this channel more like so, and they may have been looking for a new break. So we're probably going to shoot up here for another high. And you really could have even seen this. I played around with this one. I even saw it like so. And then this kind of fits up here with just maybe an overshoot. And then of course, by doing it that way, then you get the break down here, which is the overshoot on this side. So you could see that either way. And that's kind of how I was playing it. With this being another move to a new high, but just draw this shorter term trend line and let it go. Then you get the break up here, you turn down. I didn't like going short yet because I wasn't convinced. Everything's still above the EMA. But I don't like going long in here. If you'd went long right here, you weren't necessarily wrong, but I just think it was too risky. And then once we got into here and just kind of started, this is kind of no man's land. Even though there's a little bit of a channel working down, you can see that there. Um, you know, this is no man's land. Just stay out of that. Just wait. And then we come down here and we bounce, and then we end up with um, a second entry long right here. And even this one, I went back and forth about whether or not to make it green or blue. I went ahead and left it blue um, simply because I felt like we were, well, one thing was we had a failed break out of this trading range. There were multiple reasons. This is a failed break lower, and it tried to go lower a couple of times. Um, but I also liked it as a bounce off this little trend line working back. And a lot of times you'll get two legs to a new high. So I wasn't convinced that we weren't done to the upside yet. So um, I liked it to the upside. But when we turned down here, I still didn't like going short. But then when we had a failed second entry long, let me back out. This is really hard to see. I got a lot of stuff on this chart. I'm actually going to take this median line and this channel off because I didn't use that. Um, I traded that after that in this range using these little shorter term channels, and of course I was looking at that bigger channel as maybe a target up here, but I still think there was enough information not to have to clutter your chart up with all that. So this is what I was trading off of. And I still didn't like going short here because I wasn't convinced this was a trading range. But when we had the failed second entry long here, notice you got a first entry, pull back, and then you tried to go higher again, a little second entry. And it's a lower second entry, um, and it's really on a smaller scale there. But really, you had the break of this channel, a new high, and it turned down. And I looked at that like a trap, and so I liked going short right there. Easy move, even if you'd have waited to the end of that bar, it was a nice move. And then you kind of get the bounce here, but you got to wait on the second entry long because really this was really the confirmation, and then you double checked it here. So I liked going long because now, hey, we're looking like a range, and of course you got this little channel working down. You got the break, move to a new low, and you could have even looked at maybe, hey, here's your breakaway up here. So I like going long there. Didn't expect it to take off. I figured it would chop slowly up like it did here, but I think most people realized what was going on here. And we probably trapped some people short as well that thought the trend was over. And it runs to the top. You get the break, the retest. Um, there's a first entry off that new low. You could look at that as a first entry and then a second entry short right there. And it just didn't really go anywhere. I hung on and it worked. Then you had a failed second entry long, and I really thought we'd shoot on down then. Again, it didn't go anywhere very fast. It ended up working if you held on, but if you got shaken out right here, I wouldn't blame you because it wouldn't have surprised me if we'd have broke higher sooner, but we didn't. There's kind of a median line even on the trading range here, and let's just go ahead and put it on there. And so this is where you kind of get into no man's land. You got to be careful trading right in here because the market can do funny things and go either way sometimes. But you can kind of see that median line in there. It's kind of right in the center. But I finally liked going long here because now you kind of got this trend line, and all these bounces here were just confirming it. But notice you got a new low, first entry, and you got that little trap like that broke lower, then first entry short, and you're going up, and you get a second entry short, and look at that reversal bar. That's what a breakout pullback will look like usually on a reversal trap. And again, it didn't take off like I thought we'd probably get this move, but it took a few more times, and then you got another failed second entry short right here off of this new swing low, first entry pullback, second entry. And this one's debatable, but this is a little swing down here, so this is a little bit of a lower swing. So I still counted that as like a failed second entry, but regardless, it's two tries to go lower after breaking out higher that failed and turned up, and you can tell they trapped some people there. and off it goes. And then you get another new low here. It's a little trap. You could have even maybe considered going long there. It's right off the trend line. I didn't like it because there's just so much overlap there and a couple of doges and things. And then I still didn't like going long here because we had this overshoot and there's not much room there to the highs. But when we tried to go lower again right here, notice that new low, first entry pullback. So that's a failed second entry short that traps people counter trend, what you want. And so I entered right there. And again, it was easy scalp. And because we didn't really go anywhere much more, I was a little hesitant. And that was really my last trade of the day. And I was really hesitant to take any more longs in here, although any of these bounces off that trend line would have worked. The only one that didn't work was the one that broke right through, and that's a reversal type pattern. Notice you've got a failed break higher, a new low, a lower high, and then another. That's a perfect trap right there off a trend line. I'm going to mark that one, even though I wasn't trading and watching it then. That's what you want to wait on. And that's a sure thing right there. And you can see how it took off. Look at that reversal bar and look what happened. Boom. That's the kind of trade you like to have. And there was even a failed second entry long right there that might have put you into this trade, but that's a big move down. But you can see it still would have worked. It would have netted you another scalp. So I'd probably mark that one green right there. There's some reasons why you'd want to be hesitant to go short right there. But there is a trap, and we'll just go ahead and mark it in green. And we're still working in this channel. We got a little bit of a break here possibly now. This may be a little bit higher. We still got closes outside it, so you may get a new low here and then a move back up again. But that's what I saw today, and as easy as yesterday was, today was much more complicated. So if you're struggling today, you know, for you new guys, people that are less experienced, this wasn't an easy day. You had to really know what you're looking at. You have to be able to find these shorter term channels, but you can tell there's a lot of indecision that, you know, of just based on what's going on here, that people are unsure. It's not as obvious as it was yesterday, like that right there. I mean, that is as obvious as it gets. Look at that. It's all downhill. There's some corrections in there, but there's always going to be. But for the most part, it opened on its high and it closed on its low. And that's a beautiful trend day. And we don't get a lot of those. So, and that brings up one other point I want to make. Somebody asked me about, you know, generally my theory is that, you know, treat trading like a job. Come in, have a goal, hit your goal every day, and then stop. Because what happens is a lot of people hit their goal and they keep trading and they give it all back again, or they end up having a big losing day when they had their money. So my theory is, and what, you know, that's kind of what got me on the right track was, hey, pick yourself a goal, work for it every day. When you hit it, quit. But when you get a day like this, it's downhill like this, it's this strong of a trend, I think you can throw that rule out the window because if you're going to trade with a trend and not counter trend, and if you're reading it right. But I mean, that's hard to mistake for a strong trend right there. So when you see a day like that, you know, use your gut instinct. If you're feeling it and you're hitting it on, and you're hitting on all cylinders and you're calling it right, stay with it and keep trading. But for the most part, on days like this, hit your target and quit. So I did want to clarify that because somebody else asked me that, and it you know, and generally I do tend to lean to the theory that, hey, make your money every day, whatever your target is, and then quit. But also, one other piece to that, you know, as your target becomes easy and you start hitting it every day, then, you know, maybe you need to make it a little bit more challenging. So you might, you know, if you start off just trying to get 1 point a day on singles, then, you know, when you can do that consistently every single day and it gets to be easy, then hey, then maybe go to 2 points, or maybe go to, you know, add your runner and try to get 2 or 3 points or whatever. But make sure you keep it challenging, because if you don't, you're not going to get any better. So, and it doesn't mean you stop trading necessarily either. The other thought is, hey, I hit my target, but I still need the practice and I still need to learn to read the market. So I'm just going to flip from my live trade to the simulator. Yeah, that's if you're live yet. Now, if you're on the simulator, just keep trading as long as you can every day, because you need all the screen time you can get. So don't use that rule when you're sim trading. That's just when you go live. So I wanted to clarify all that because, um, you know, I didn't want to be putting out two different messages. So make sure you understand that. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I hope you had a good trading day. Again, it wasn't as easy as yesterday. And you can see here, it's obvious we're in a trading range. Look how prices are flipping to both sides of the EMA, and look how straight across it is. That's a sure sign this is a trading range. And then finally we broke out of that and trended higher, and now we're kind of trending down. So keep that, always, that EMA is a tool, and learn to use it properly, and it'll help you a lot. So it'll help you recognize the type of day. And no, it'll take you a while. You won't learn it in a week or two. So understand that. But I'm going to wrap it up for today. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next.